Howdy folks, it's Tully here and welcome back to Microsoft Flight Simulator. I'm excited because we get to start another bush trip. I'm recording this before the next World Update 8. So it's the night of March 22nd. When I record this, it's almost my birthday. Nothing special for my birthday. Maybe I'll be able to record more videos on my birthday. I'm just kidding. I have no idea what's going to happen. But bush trip today. I'm excited. I love these things so much. And I'm excited to see what the next World Update offers. But right now I'm living in the moment of Australia. So let's scroll down and see what we have left. We got the, sorry, I had a hiccup. Queensland coast, Kimberley coast, southeastern Australia. And Odyssey, Tasmanian. I'm going to save that one for last. I'm excited to see what Tasmanian looks like in the sim. I've done lots of Tasmanian flights in the past. Let's do this one. Float plane. I'm curious if they're going to have us land on water. And if they do, how is it going to count where we land? Will it count as a crash if we miss? Or maybe I'm getting ahead of myself and there are no water landing. It's just the plane they selected. But let's click on it and let's see what happens here. All right, what we can do is we go 5 legs. We can go through like this and see what the runways look like. And no water. So even though we're in a float plane, they're all paved. They're all paved. Okay, so I'm not sure what that's all about. Maybe just to show off that they added a whole bunch of aircraft a few updates ago and no one's flying them. I don't know. Anyway, that 1 hour trip. Oh man, both of those are long, at least long and they're right away, I guess. Okie dokie. I was going to do a couple of these in one sitting, but I don't think I can. I think it's going to be one at a time. I mean, it's 1 leg per video anyway, but just behind the scenes stuff, I was going to try to knock out a couple here. But I don't know. We'll see. Again, getting ahead of myself. All right, here we go. Let's read about it since it's leg 1. Australia's North Queensland coast is one of the planet's most alluring destinations. Home to the renowned Great Barrier Reef, the largest coral reef in the world, the area is defined by long stretches of white sand beach, turquoise waters, and lush tropical vegetation. Exploring this part of Australia from the air brings unforgettable, mesmerizing views. Long, elegant arcs of sand disappear into the distance, seeming to merge with sea and sky. Evocative forms. Oh my god, my wife uses the word evocative all the time. Sorry, just a funny little thing. Evocative forms, both on and beneath the sea surface, spring forth with each passing view. The ever-changing mood of the sky, with clouds billowing and casting shadows beneath them, always adds a flare of drama. This flight traverses the heart of this region, beginning at Cairns. Is it Cairns? Cairns. I see that in print all the time. I've never heard it. Beginning at Cairns and coming to a close on Hamilton Island, exploring this wondrous arena of beach side and sea. I was going to say I got through that whole thing without messing it up, and then the very last word, I messed it up. Alrighty, North Queensland coast, it says here 3.5 hours, roughly. Well, it doesn't matter how long it takes us, but I do like to see an idea. But anyway, without further ado, let's do the first leg. Alright, when I do presets for an airplane, I try to keep them similar in all airplanes. So like 1 is always my default straight ahead view. 2 is always an IFR view. 3 would normally be switches and gauges or switches and buttons and everything on the panels, but since everything's in view, I don't have a 3. I guess I can make that 3. I don't know why I wouldn't need to. No, I'm not going to. 4 is normally my map or GPS, which again is the same as my IFR. 5 is normally like the stuff between the seats and such, but in this plane there really isn't anything in between the seats. 6 is normally my passenger seat view. Again, doesn't apply. I guess I can maybe go back here. No, you can't go back there in this one. Sometimes you can go back there. 7 is always my forward or cheat ahead. 8 is usually an overhead panel, but there isn't one. I guess the whiskey compass. 9 is looking out the right window usually, and 0 is looking out the left window usually for all the aircraft. But this one is very different. So 1 is straight ahead, 2 is IFR and my switches and my autopilot. 3 then is outside, 4 is nothing, 5 is my fuel, 6 is nothing, 7 is ahead, 8 is fuel gauge, 9 is fuel gauge, and 0 is that. So anyway, just in case anybody cares, that's how I do all my presets. In X-Plane I had 20 presets. I actually have a video on X-Plane on how to do 20 presets built in without an add-on. People didn't know you could do 20 presets in X-Plane until I mentioned it for some reason. But this is not X-Plane. This is Microsoft Flight Simulator, so only 10 presets that I'm aware of without an add-on. But those are how I do them generically and then specifically in this aircraft, which when I go into the regular XCub, they're going to be different because I can't remember how they were set up. Doesn't matter. I don't fly this plane very much. So anyway, now that we are set up and situated, what are we doing? We are getting comfortable in our chair as I drift away from the microphone. All right, we are going from Yankee Bravo Charlie Sierra to Yankee Tango Uniform Yankee, an hour long. And I assume we're going to have the same problem. First of all, hey, we have a reference image now. That's nice. Are we going to have the same problem where if we come back, they expand everything? Yep. Oh, that's going to be annoying when we get down here. But whatever. Okay. A lot of quick part. Oh, golly, gee whiz. What's going on here? Hang on, I bumped it. Now it's all... There we go. Okay. A lot of quickies here. All right, anyway, we'll read about the first two then since they're so close together. So, False Cape. After taking off from Cairns Airport, follow the coastline to the southeast to False Cape. Then right after that, basically right away, we're going to turn to the northeast, flying just offshore and then over the open water to Green Island, a Coral Cay. That is one of the gems of Australia's Great Barrier Reef Marine Park World Heritage Area. So here we go. We're going to start at 103 degrees, 112. Actually, in this, we have the GPS. Okay, I talk about this at the beginning of every bush trip, first leg, because not everybody watches every bush trip. How do we navigate this? Well, there's so many different ways you can do it, right? If you do it by the book or by the intention, it's to use your heading bug and stopwatch and follow along. Pretty simple. If you start a bush trip, until you quit the bush trip, it actually gives you the GPS and you can set out a pilot to follow GPS. Once you quit though and come back, the GPS goes away. So what we do is we do a combination of everything. We do it the old school way and we also use the tools that are available. These all give maps, these modern airplanes, so we can look at that map versus this map. Is it going to come up? There it is. That was slow and scary. We don't need this map, right? Unless we want to look at where the POIs exactly are, which we might, maybe. It only works on the first leg, and it only works until you quit, though. Once we come back, this is all gone. So what we're going to do for the first trip, like we usually do, is use GPS. We're going to let the autopilot take us. And then as subsequent trips, because we won't have the GPS, we'll do it old school, but we'll use the heading bug on the autopilot just so we can look around. All right. So let me see. I have to quickly get familiar with this aircraft. I don't think these do anything. Oh, they do stuff now. Okay. They used to never do anything. It's been a long time since I've been in this airplane. First of all, let's repair and refuel. I think we're full, though. If I do Control R. Oh, a little bit. Topped it off a little bit. Okay. Is this zoom on this one? No, this just changes. Oh, here's zoom on this one. Oh, yeah, this is the touchscreen. Already zoomed in. No, I want to go out, please. Thank you. Okay. We're going to head due south for a minute, and then we're going to turn out to the water. Does this drag? It does. Cool. Alrighty. So we really care about setting up autopilot. First of all, what's your altitude going to be? We're above the water, so we don't have to go very high. Let's stay at a measly 2,000. That way we can see stuff. Right? If we get too high, we can't see stuff. Alright, so turn on flight director. Right? I was going to say this does not work. We are going to use nav because we have that option in this first time. Oh, we can do IS hold for altitude, but we're not. We're going to do vertical speed, and we're going to nose it up. We can do 1,000 feet per minute in this one, 1,100 even. Yeah. See how easy that was? That's it. That's all. Okie dokie. No barometer to worry about, no wind to worry about on the bush trips. Alrighty, we're about 10 minutes in. It is time to get out of here. So flaps are down 1. And is parking brake on or off when we start? Let's take parking brake off. And now it's on. I swear if I don't do that, then it's off, whatever. We are going to firewall it right now. Why is this thing drifting to the right? This is very strange. And have to remember when we land this, it's not a tail dragger configuration right now. Whoops, what am I doing? I'm not paying any attention. Brakes to stop the wheels. This does have gear, right? If we come around here and watch it, go up. Yep, it has gear. And flaps coming in. We're way too fast for flaps. Look at this thing. Climbs like a rocket. Jeez Louise. Oh, this thing is so easy to fly. See, my presets are all different than what I'm used to. Wow. Okay. Well, let's get autopilot right now because we can. We don't need to, but we're going to. And then we're just going to bring back props a little bit. Look out the window. And then we'll hop outside and look around for about a minute. And then we'll read about the next POI. So the first thing is the False Cape. And then Green Island. Of course, doing this means nothing because it's just going to come back out when I go like that again. Ugh, so annoying. Anyway, let's hop outside. Ooh, look at that. Steep climb, but realistic. Let's take a screenshot of that, and let's look at the huge city. Oh, that's so gorgeous. Don't worry, we'll get to sightseeing without me blabbing, but the co-pilot's still talking to us, and we're still getting situated. And I assume we're going to miss those mountains. I assume GPS is going to turn us before we reach those mountains. That is the downside to flying with GPS and autopilot is you still got to pay a lot of attention to what's going on, because it will do things like throw us into mountains before it turns us. Doesn't say how long it's going to be before it turns us. 44 seconds before it turns us. So we are going to not do that. We're going to move the heading bug thing. And we're going to go this way. And we're going to switch over to heading bug for right now. Until we get in a safer position here. And then we will go back to GPS. And we got to turn it more. Way more. Way more. Go, go, go. In fact, what does it say on here? We could use a nav. 42. Let's go all the way to 42. Please. There we go. Wait a second. Oh, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Whoops. Sorry. There we go. I was looking at that. Should have been that. There we go. Okay. That's better. So now 7 minutes. And then we'll read about the next thing. There we go. Oh, see, now GPS finally changed. Now I can go back to GPS. Which is nav in this case. There we go. Alright, cool. Good, we survived. We did not crash into those hills or mountains, I guess. Alrighty, we already read about where we're going. So we're going to Green Island, I think it said. We are. When we get to Green Island, I will rejoin you with my voice and we will chit-chat again. But hopefully that introduction answers all your questions. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. But pretty straightforward. In fact, you can see the island right there. See? Simple. The only bush trip that was difficult to navigate was the very original Nevada Gold Rush bush trip. That thing was exhausting. There's been some difficult ones to fly for sure, but as far as navigation goes, nothing will be as difficult as in the Nevada Gold Rush. Okay, I have said more than I planned on, so I will see you in about 5 minutes my time for the next POI. See you in a couple minutes. Alright, we're about over our island, and as you all know how much I love islands, because I love nature, but I'm scared of animals, wild animals. So if you go places in the woods, especially because I love woods, I'm scared of animals. Daytime, nighttime, doesn't matter. Not scared of people, scared of animals. But on an island like that, it's easy to tell very quickly what animals are there, if any at all. I don't know if big animals can make the trek across the water like they could if it were to freeze, for example. So I would be fine right there. On the beach, a little bit of skinny dipping probably, because it's Australia. And no big animals to scare me. How fun would that island be? Oh my gosh, I'm going to look that up later. Learn all about Green Island. Alright, our computer's about to turn us because we're taking advantage of the computer today. And we're going to head over to Thetford Reef. Fly over open water to the east-southeast to Thetford Reef, a renowned dive site in the Great Barrier Reef region. So it's going to turn us, and that's going to be about 7 minutes. And then we'll read about the next two when we get there. I know a lot of you come here for story time, and I have not been telling stories. It's been a really, really long time since I've had story time. Especially because I used to tell stories in every video. So what stories do I have about Australia? None. None other than, actually I want to see what's going to turn us to. It's going to turn us to 97, so not too much. My friend that I've known since 9th grade used to be obsessed with Australia, and he wanted to move there. He never got the chance, but I'm sure he's quite happy with how he is living today. So not a loss there, but he used to talk about Australia all the time and how very, very, very difficult it was to be able to live there permanently unless you like married somebody there, basically. I guess that's how I understand it. My better reef is right here when we get there. I have another, well, now he's acquaintance. Ooh, look at that. Let's hop outside. He's an acquaintance now. Excuse me, I'm gonna have a hiccup again. But look at that reef stuff. Holy cow. There's the island. See, there's a house on there. I want to know what that is. I want to visit that. I have a friend, acquaintance now, but he was a good friend, who is famous for something I won't mention. He was also framed because of jealousy, and he's been cleared. But he now lives in Australia. He married an Australian woman, and he's quite happy there, from what I understand. So there's that. Otherwise, I don't have any stories about Australia. I'm sorry. I would love to visit New Zealand. I don't know enough about Australia to like be itching to go there, but I would love to go to New Zealand. I don't know if there's rivalry or anything between the two, as I do an Australian bush trip. There will be New Zealand bush trips. They've alluded to New Zealand getting its own world update someday, but anyway, so there's my story time. The lack of story. I don't have any stories about Australia. I don't. So anyway, there's that. Let's hop down here and fix this. What the heck? Yeah, see, there's Green Island. So now we're headed to the reef. It's 4 minutes out. I've done enough talking. So I'll see you at the reef. Alright, we're about a minute 45 out from that little reef spot. When we get there, I will jump outside so we can have a better look. I just like to stay inside while we chat because of the immersion. I don't mind doing the outside stuff for the sightseeing, but when we're chatting, immersion is nice to be inside. So let's get ready to read about the next couple things here. We're off down here somewhere. In 2 minutes or so, we're going to go to Moore Reef. Turn to the southeast and visit Moore Reef, another beautiful facet of the area, which I assume is like over here, 2 minutes away. Then after that, 10 minutes out, we'll go to High Island, head towards the shore to visit High Island, also known as Kapara Island, which is important for sea life, notably the giant sea turtle. The tall turtle gets to see sea turtles. Well, we have to pretend they're there. I'm sure they haven't modeled sea turtles. So we have another reef, and then we have an island. And yes, we're letting the computer do the work, at least on this trip. Subsequent trips we'll be doing the work. But for this one, we're just going to enjoy the computer taking over. Look at that reef. Oh my gosh. Let's just look at this for a minute as we fly over. My wife has been scuba diving in Mexico when she was a kid, and 2 years ago, or last year, 3 years, right before COVID. Like, she came home right when COVID was shutting things down. So 3 years ago, I guess. Hang on. I'm just gonna stare at this. I wish we could. Oh, I wish we could get in a boat. No, I wish we could park the plane, right? Land on the floats and go down underwater. That'd be pretty cool. So my wife's been scuba diving twice. The first time she panicked and almost drowned. The second time she was okay. My mother-in-law went scuba diving, came up, went on the wrong boat. And almost went to a different resort. Crazy stories when my wife travels with her mom. But anyway, I have not been. And I honestly don't have any desire to. I guess this is good enough for me. I'd rather be in the air than in the sea. Anyway, alrighty, let's see if there's the other reef. We'll stick together, look at this one together, and then we'll go back to some, oh gosh, I need some other presets. We'll go back to sightseeing when we turn towards High Island, which if you want to do a little, I was saying cheat, but it's not cheating because you use the tools available to you. Where is it? Reef, and then we're going to come back to here. Oh yeah, that island is pretty obvious, and looks like there's another island, and then the shore, and then we land. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let's just leave that like that, and we'll leave our map like that too. Alrighty, how far tower to the reef? 1 minute, which means it's this reef right here, which is what I thought it was going to be. We're at 2,000 feet. Yes, we are. Let's hop outside again before we make our turn. And let's check out this reef from the drone. That is really, really cool. And I'm guessing, excuse me, my throat again. I'm guessing it doesn't look too terribly different in real life. I'm thinking from 2,000 feet or so, this is what it will look like. Other than there are probably a ton of boats there in real life all the time. What is that thing on your screen? I'm sure there are a ton of boats in real life all the time. They do have some boat traffic modeled, actually. If you look over there, and there's some over there too, but anywho, and I'm sure that dividing line isn't there. That's just how the map sections came together. But that's okay. It's not a sightseeing simulator. It is a flight simulator, and sightseeing is just the gravy on top. Okay, let's hop inside again, and we're going to head towards High Island, which should appear on our map. Is it? No, it should be this way. Yeah, there we go. Right there, I think. So, I'm going to shut my trap for a moment and let you enjoy the sights, and I'll see you at High Island. See you in a little bit. It looks like High Island is bobbing up and down like a buoy in the water. Oh, that reminds me of a joke we used to say when I was a kid, but you don't say it now. But it's related to bobbing up and down in the water. Those of you my age will know what I'm talking about. Anyway, yeah, I told my kids the other day. My wife got really mad. Oh well. There's some weird cloud reflection thing going on in the water back here. Especially because there's not a cloud that massive above us, but that's okay. Strange. Anyway, we're almost there. What's it say? It says we're 4 minutes out, huh? Really? I guess we could be 4 minutes out. Okay, let's not be distracted by the bobbing up and down island. Although it's funny because, you know, in a flight simulator, these types of simple things amuse us. If that were to happen in Minecraft, we wouldn't even notice, right? Or any other game for that matter. But in a simulator, we notice stuff like that. Alrighty, what is next here as we get closer? Hopefully in the next update, these things will start staying closed, but I kind of doubt it. Man, where are we? We're way down here. So as soon as we get there, we're going to turn to the southeast. We're going to go over to the Franklin Islands, legendary among naturalists the world over for their abundance of life, including green sea turtles, pythons, dense tropical flora, and migratory birds. Speaking of that, I haven't noticed any of the update change logs mention new fauna. Okay, so there's the High Island thing, right? So now when we get there, we're going to turn to the Franklin. Oh yeah, that's right. We were talking about flora, migratory birds, and that's how we got on the topic of fauna. So that'll be 3 minutes to get to the islands. I guess we can look on here and it'll show us in this case. It always zooms in every single time. So we're going from that island over to these islands, a bunch of them. And then when we get to those islands, there'll be a gap. Oh boy. And that gap will bring us to Edubay. Head south, flying at first over open water and then skirt the coast to reach Edubay, a gorgeous setting where lush tropical mountains meet the turquoise sea at a strip of white sand beach. So we're going to turn left, go to some islands over there somewhere, which is probably right here because it's only 2 minutes out, and then we're going to go that way and we're going to check out the white beach and all that good stuff. So let me just see one more thing. Yeah. Yep. So there you go. We're about to turn in a minute, it says. So I'm going to give you sightseeing for 2 sections, and then I'll join you again when we get close to some beach. Cool. See you then. Alright, well, we're coming up on the bay. We still have ways to go yet, though, because I think our bay is here. What does it say on the GPS? Yeah, another 5 minutes, which I'm not going to make you watch. But I did go through and switch fuel tanks, because you can see this one was getting down there to 20, and this one, you know, was full. And I think, I can't remember, but there's a threshold. I thought it said somewhere what the threshold was when you have to switch tanks. It's not there, but that's where I switched it. But I don't know where it says. Anyway, it says somewhere like, oh, here we go, fuel balance. 5 gallons between tanks, and I was at 3, so I changed it in time. I can also tell because the plane was tipping to the right. I'm like, what is going on here? It was tipping to the right. Now it's level. So there we go. Coming up on the bay, though, not this bay, the one up here. And it's looking good so far. We're going to head over the bay and then over here and then head inland, I think, to land in a little bit. It'll still be a while. It's just because I had to leave and come back. I left the sim paused, but because I personally left and came back, it feels like we've been doing this forever. I mean, 53 minutes is kind of long for a leg. I don't really enjoy them when they get longer than like 30, 38 minutes, so this one is pretty long. And the next one is the longest one we've had in any bush trip, but we'll get through it, and then we'll enjoy the shorter legs after that. But anyway, that's the quick update from the cockpit here. Let's hop inside, and in a minute or two, we will read about the next thing in a second. No sightseeing, just hang tight with me here. You have an edit, and we'll be in the bay. Check this out. And here we are entering the bay. See? Oh my, ignore the satellite trees. Oh dear, that looks terrible. But the autogen trees look good. They even have different colors in there. Oh my goodness. Yeah, we'll look out this window. That looks better. Alrighty, let's read about where we're heading next here. After we click through some of these, where were we? Alright, so Edubay. Now we're at Edubay Beach. Skirt the coastline to Edubay Beach, renowned as one of Australia's most beautiful stretches of coast and home to the southern cassowary, the country's largest flightless bird, as well as monitor lizards and saltwater crocodiles. There's some fauna there they could have added to the sim. Then we'll do that for 3 minutes or so. And then after that, we're going to go to Sisters Island, fly south-southeast over marshland, and then open water to visit Sisters Island, an important breeding site for terns. So tons of animals that would be here. I do know that Australia is known for its beaches and animals. Its beaches and fauna. So we're flying over those areas in this bush trip right here. And we are high enough to cross that train. So we're over the bay now. Let's hop outside together one more brief time. Look at all those beaches. Ignore the satellite stuff. I love the waves, though. That's cool. So we're going to go to that bay over there. We're going to fly over to some lands where there's some terns. And then we'll read about more as we come in closer to our destination. So here we go. I'm going to turn you loose for a little bit more sightseeing. Ooh, that's a good shot. that's kind of a cool formation down there. I wonder what that looks like on the ground. Anyway, we've been flying over some land back to head out to water to go to the island with the turns, or where there would be turns, and then we're going to turn back over there and land. In fact, I think I can spot the airport from here, perhaps. Or maybe I'm just making stuff up to make myself feel better. Anywho, whoops. How are we doing on the fuel here? Are they balanced still? 20 and... yeah, we're good. Alright, the islands up here are the islands on our map there. And the airport is not there because we're zoomed out too far, I guess. Let's go this way. There it is right there. There's our airport. So we're just going to go to the islands and then work our way in. So as soon as we get to those islands, whoops, as soon as we get to the islands, we'll read about the next waypoint to look at. But for right now, let's enjoy some views outside while we can. Oh, there's a little tiny island right there in the middle of the screen. Oh, I would love to be there. And if that's not available, I would love to be there. Oh my gosh, how gorgeous. Kind of funny. I wouldn't mind being there, but I'm not a seafood person, so someone would have to fly in food for me. But anyway, coming up on our islands with the turns and the mountains over there. I mean, I knew Australia wasn't perfectly flat like the Midwest. I mean, the Midwest isn't either, but Midwest United States. But I didn't expect the actual mountains in Australia, so I'm glad to be corrected on that. There you go, those islands right there. Let's hop inside. They don't look that fantastic, so we're just going to keep reading. So now we're going to turn after we close up some of the stuff. So we're going to have to scroll. Here we go. We're going to turn to 232 degrees to Curramine Beach, an important habitat for a number of species of tropical rainforest birds. Lies just to the southwest of the Sisters Island, which is what is under us now, the Sisters Island. There we go. And we're going to turn away from it. After that, because that's pretty quick, we're going to go to Benjil Bay. Just to the south of Curramine Beach lies Benjil Bay, a picturesque nook on this coastline with a deep history of plantations for tea, bananas, mangoes, and other tropical fruit. And then right after that, okay, so we got the coastline, then we got the bay, and then we've got Tully Airport from Benjil Bay. Turn to the southwest and head inland, passing over lushly forested mountains, and land at Tully Airport, which is their reference image. It's paved though, and we're in STOL, so we don't have to like slam on the brakes. We got plenty of space for us, but there we go. Looking at the GPS, it's basically going to go like this. Do. When we get closer, we will take over by hand. Of course, you want to go like that. You can even probably go like that. And I like using this, so when the airplane shows up, we'll recenter it. And there you go. We're going to remain this altitude till we get close enough to see the airport, and then we will take over by hand and land at the airport. But for right now, let's go over this coastline together, and then I'll turn you loose for the last bit of sightseeing. And then we'll land an airplane. And it's time to get serious and land. So there's our coastline with a bunch of animals, apparently, that we can't really see, but we have to pretend. Oh, that satellite stuff does not line up with AutoGen, and it looks terrible, so let's go over here. Look at this side for a second. It'll be the same soon, I'm sure. Anyway, there you go. Let's fly over the bananas and land at the airport, which is over there probably, I would think. Alright, see you else. So you'll get to be outside a little bit, then I'll see in a moment. Why? Then I'll see in a moment. And I guess bananas are up here. Bananas are up here. And mangoes. And then we'll land. Alright, a couple seconds outside and I'll see you in a minute to land this aeroplane. All right, we are really close to this hill, but that's okay. We'll deal with the train turbulence. I think we're trying to see the mangoes and bananas and other tropical fruit. All right, it is time to brave the turbulence and start coming in to land this airplane. We're headed right for it, so let's switch over to heading bug. Heading bug like this, and then heading down there. There we go. And now we'll just ride this out. And once we spot the airport, we'll try to land. If we come in on this course, we should be able to dogleg to the left just fine. I hope. Is it actually behind this mountain? No. I don't see it yet. I'm sure we'll see it when we get closer though. But no more sightseeing because it's time to land an airplane. However, this view looks ultra realistic all of a sudden. A lot more realistic than the other views have. Let's enjoy that for a second. The further out you look, the nicer it looks. Can you imagine living here? How nice. You see mountains, you see forests, you're by the beach. Oh man. I love where I live. I love living in a first ring suburb that's literally less than 2 blocks. Say 2 blocks. Blocks would be fewer, but distance is less. So would it be less than 2 blocks? Because 2 blocks I'm using as a distance measurement. Anyway, I'm not going to get into that right now, but I live about 2 blocks away from Minneapolis, and I love it. However, this calls my name too. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. How fun would it be to be in those woods, provided there are no animals. No animals, it would be fine. Alrighty, it is time to zoom in, like that, and see if we can find this airport. We'll wait for well, once the airplane shows up, it's kind of too late, isn't it? I don't see it. It shouldn't be behind the hill. It should be like up in here. Right? What does a reference image show? I don't know. Here? No. I mean, there's a road, kind of a road leading up to it. Either way, let's turn off autopilot and bring back throttles because we're going really fast. Then we'll figure this out together here. Come down a little bit in altitude. I don't want to go below 1500 until we have spotted our runway, though. Man. That GPS makes it look far away, but it didn't seem to be that close to the mountain. Maybe it is. Anyway, bring the props back a little bit. I kind of got a little carried away. Oh, this is fun to hand fly. But we're looking for an airport. Maybe it is over here more around the mountain. Oh, turtle, stop getting distracted by the scenery. We all know it doesn't go well when I get distracted by scenery. We still don't see our destination. We're getting really close, though. According to that GPS, we should be right, really close to it. Let's get gear down now so I don't forget. And let's hopefully we can land this because it has been like 3.5 hours for me to do this one leg because I had to leave for a while. I don't want to have to redo this leg because it's been a long time. Let's see here. Turtle, stop looking. Jeez, it looks nice, yes, and there's traffic to look at, which is fun. We haven't seen traffic in a really long time in the simulator, but it is time to land this plane, and we're supposed to be like almost on top of this thing. It has to be behind some trees. Because look at this thing. The GPS says we're right there. Basically, right? About to fly straight in. I don't see this airport. The heck? Oh, it's right here, I think. There it is. Is that it? Oh my, okay, well let's slow this thing way down. I'm totally not seated right in my chair. In fact, my rudder pedals aren't even near me because I was stretching my legs out. Okay, yeah, that has to be it. Alright, we learned before that trees count. They didn't count before when the sim, in the early incarnations of the sim. Trees didn't count. You could hit them on your way down and it was fine. But we learned recently that trees will take you out. So we need to be mindful of that. Gear is already down. Oh boy, I'm kind of nervous. This is not a Taldrager configuration, so I better not land like it's a Taldrager, but it is floats. Oh, I was also going to say, I've never landed on pavement in floats in this aircraft that I'm aware of. If I have, it's been a very, very, very long time. 2 sets of flaps. So I hope I don't damage them. Because it's a little bit different than regular wheels, and it's obviously different than Taldrager. You want to land kind of flat. What did it say? Here we go. Runway landing. We did it. It is down and we are landed. And that was amazing for the first time on floats, on pavement. Wow. I can't believe I did that. I was so nervous I was going to slam them into the ground and have to redo it. Oh, I'm so relieved. We only have to do it 4 more times. Anyway, it took about 15 minutes long. It doesn't count my pause time, but it still took 15 minutes longer than it was supposed to. Goodness gracious. Alrighty, you know the drill. 1 leg per video. The next one is a long one. Like I said, I'm excited to do these trips. It's just when the legs get to be over like 38 minutes, it makes me kind of nervous. But anyway, won't have GPS next time because I'm putting the sim in between. So if you want to see the drama and excitement, like and subscribe, and I'll see you then.